Good evening, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Let's begin. First up, one man dead and officer involved shooting in Belmont. Few details released. A man was killed in an officer-involved shooting incident in Belmont late Saturday. The shooting happened about 11:40 p.m. on South Road, the state attorney general's office said. No police officers were injured in the incident. Sherzlin confirmed that it was local police involved in the shooting. It's not clear how many shots were fired or how many officers fired their weapons. The identity of the man killed has not been released. The scene unfolded just past a cow farm on a quiet road where most of the houses are set far back. Many who live nearby say they were surprised to learn of it. The Attorney General's office said additional information would be forthcoming. And we will keep you updated on this story as more information becomes available into our newsroom. Trump campaign parting ways with pollsters following internal numbers leak, sources. The Trump campaign is cutting ties with a number of its pollsters after internal figures leaked showing President Donald Trump down by wide margins in key battleground states. Multiple sources familiar with the matter confirmed to ABC News that the campaign will part with some of its pollsters after the leak, which showed data that the president was losing in key must-win states based on internal polling done in late March of this year. And last night, the New England Emmys were happening last night, and some people from WMUR News 9 won some Emmys. Congrats to Karen Myers for winning the New England Emmy for writer. And also congrats to Erin for winning an Emmy for the episode on New Hampshire Chronicle about the Buffett musical. And also congrats to the New Hampshire Chronicle team that hosted the Golden Ticket on New Hampshire Chronicle. Also, congrats to Erin and video photographer Chris Shepard for their story about Squam Lake ice harvest. Also, congrats to Chief Videographer Jim Breen. He won a Emmy. Also, congrats to Arts and Entertainment Aaron Phalo and Todd D.R.O., editor. And recipient for special event coverage, WMUR. Congrats to the recipient of Outstanding Graphic Art Set Design by WMUR News 9. And also a big award was awarded to someone. The 2019 Governor's Award was awarded to ABC News World News anchor David Muir. Let's take a look at some of that video from last night at the Emmys. Take a look at the video. Whoops, sorry about that, everyone. We have a little technical difficulty. Give us 1 minute as we get the right video up. Okay, this should take a minute, so sorry about that. We put the wrong video up on the screen and uploading the correct one. A couple more minutes until it's on the computer. There we go. Okay, take a look now.
Tonight is very special. We are honoring award-winning veteran journalist David Muir with our Governor's Award. Mr. Muir is the anchor and managing editor of ABC World News Tonight with David Muir and co-anchor of ABC News 2020. And he has deep roots here in Boston, having been an anchor at WCVB Channel 5 before joining ABC News. Historically, the Governor's Award is given to someone with ties to our region in recognition of truly outstanding and unique accomplishments, and for achievements of some duration and durability. And David Muir could not be more deserving of this award. Mr. Muir has captured the hearts and earned the trust of people across the world. Let's take a look at the astonishing career.
David Muir has been on the front lines on nearly every major story of our time. On the Syria-Lebanon border with the child refugees.
You're going to work on the potatoes.
From Tehran.
Do you think that Iran and America will get along?
From Mogadishu during the famine.
You can hear the gunfire just around this wall as they try to move these extremists.
It all began with a letter he sent to his local television station when he was just 13. He began interning at 14.
Every summer, they would march me right up to the newsroom wall, and they would measure how much I had grown from the summer before, and also joke how many octaves my voice had fallen from year to year.
Graduating from Ithaca College, he landed a job at WTVH in Syracuse and began reporting and anchoring in his hometown. David then moved on to WCVB-TV in Boston. Routine coverage beginning with David Muir in Cambridge on the Cardinals lawsuit, a story he broke last night on News Center 5 at 11.
Well, Natalie, this lawsuit has been filed by...
David was among the reporting team honored for their work tracing the path of the hijackers on 9/11.
The two planes that crashed into the World Trade Center originated from Logan Airport, both leaving here around 8 o'clock this morning.
Before he was 30, Muir was hired at ABC News and quickly earned his place as a lead correspondent for World News Tonight.
Our first reporter is ABC's David Muir. David Muir, near the front lines.
ABC's David Muir leads our coverage once again tonight.
As you can see, we're waiting for water.
It was one of his earliest assignments, being sent to New Orleans, that had a profound impact on his reporting.
So many people had obviously been told to go to the convention center. That's where you'll get help. And we were in our rental car. I'll never forget this. I was in the back seat of the car. And we were driving slowly past the convention center. And there were crowds and crowds of people outside the convention center. Mothers and their children. And we had the windows down because we had the camera trained on so many of the people in need as we drove past them. And they were screaming. I can still hear their voices to this day saying, "We need help." We need help! In that moment, I just wanted to sink back down in my seat because because it felt in the moment as though it was a tremendous invasion of their suffering. But that was a turning point for me as a journalist, because we saw what the power of those images ultimately did. It ultimately helped them get that help. It's a fundamental responsibility that we have in this job, is to give people a voice who otherwise would not have one.
David's interviews often made global headlines, landing the first interview with President Trump in the White House.
Right after the oath of office, they give you the nuclear codes, the biscuit. Sobering moment?
When they explain what it represents and the kind of destruction that you're talking about, it is a very sobering moment, yes.
Does it keep you up at night?
No,
There was the town hall interview with Pope Francis, David agreeing to conduct it entirely in Spanish,
Sus actividades un gran honor.
tracking the opioid epidemic in New England for more than a year.
You've got families calling you saying there are needles at the park, needles on the Little League field.
But most of all, it's David's love of people. Recently documenting World War II veterans from every corner of the country and their return to Normandy 75 years later.
Thank you. Thank you. Every time we do one of those stories, it's a piece of hope that we'll get back to a day when people feel less bombarded. Because I do think that we have a lot more in common than we often give ourselves credit for. In some small way, we're signaling to the audience every night at the end of the newscast that, we're not perfect. We're going to come back tomorrow and we'll try this again. And we'll do the best job we can. And you know what? We're in this together.
Please join me in welcoming the incredible David Muir to the stage.
Very awesome there. Congratulations to David Muir on winning the 2019 Governor's Award. And all of us here at the Riley King Network would like to congratulate everyone else that won an Emmy last night at the New England Emmy Award ceremony last night. That did it for this Sunday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Sunday evening, and have a great rest of your Father's Day, everyone, to all the fathers out there. And see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night, everyone, and bye.